you've got somebody out there just trying to sell one-to-one, but by adding partnerships, you just increase the whole revenue stream. And so that's where, a lot of people are missing out on that revenue stream is not even it. One, people might be looking at their strategic partner network as something they kind of do off the side of their desk. I know we years ago, I really focused on my referral network and having like an empowered referral network and tracking where my partnerships were. So if you guys have your CRM, put this in there. Who are my partners? Put them in your CRM. Put your potential opportunities in there and track where you get referrals, track where it's going. You don't have to necessarily put plans together, but start to track that stuff. Oh, and I stole your, I think we were looking at the same article. I stole, so the partners account for 28% growth, high growth business, and it should have been formatted, but that's not PowerPoint. Here we go. So this is the market shift. So from solo practice to strategic alliance. So what I want you to think about in your own business right now is where are you already strong? Where do you offer value in the market currently? And then we want to go, okay, where's that hidden opportunity? When you're having conversations with your clients, where do you go, man, I wish I could help them with that? For me, I partner, one of the areas that I partner a lot with as a sales consultant is I partner with marketing people because marketing people know that, hey, I need to bring in leads. And I know, hey, if I get more leads, I get more of the right leads, I can convert those. I can help people convert. So better leads, better copy, better engagement, crossing those silos, that helps me. And for marketing people, they go, hey, I bring a lot of business to this company, but they're not converting. So I can help them make sure they convert. So the opportunity there is let's make sure everybody that talks to this company is going to turn into revenue. And in your business, if you're an accountant, if you're out there talking to clients, you're looking at how to deal with the things that are happening, maybe plan for the future. But when you start to see these other areas across the succession matrix, you go, wait a sec, there's opportunities, there's challenges over here. Who do I know that could either help me I work through that challenge or bring perspective, even if it's just to have them join a meeting and say, hey, I'm bringing an expert onto this call with us. I don't know if you guys are going to work together, but I think they have a really unique perspective. We were talking about something that we've been working on, and they wanted to share with you some ideas, and this might help you do some stuff. I do that a lot without saying we have to bring a partner on to the call. I do a lot for a deal, but I'll bring people on that I think can bring perspective to my clients. I'm like, you know what? I got a client I think that you should talk to. And I'll leave it to you guys to decide how you want to work together. But for me, I think Kendall calls it a lot the quarterbacking role. I'm very good at understanding the overall, like the connect the dots for my clients and bringing in people that can be strategic partners for them, whether we work together on a project or not. So look for those opportunities and then look for that biggest leverage. Like I said earlier, find that 1 + 1 is 100. Right? It's not just about how do we, if somebody's got $10,000 to spend, right? I don't want to just be like, I want 5, he wants 5. I go, what can we do for the price that we can bring that's going to add 10 times value to that client because we're looking at it, we're connecting the dots and we're moving things in the right direction. And so, hey, see, you like my slide? Look at that's what I did. Oh, look at that. And then we go, okay, successful business, don't just compete, they collaborate. So we want to partner with people that share this stuff and unlock those things. I want you to think not just don't wait for anybody who's listening to this. Don't wait until you think there's a deal on the table or a way to make money on this thing. Start identifying alliances now. Start identifying people that you believe in the same things, that approach it from a different lens, different perspective, that you can put in front of people you're working with. And whether it's existing clients, potential clients, or even out networking, the more you can start to integrate people with each other, the more powerful this becomes because you become known as an integrator and less about the service. Because the number one thing I train when I do sales is forget about the product. Nobody cares about the product. There's so many products and services out there. I want it to be about the people and the power of the insights. You want your people you want your prospects, your leads, your customers to come to you way before they know what they're trying to solve. They, instead of going, hey, can you help me solve this thing here? I want this service and I need to pay this much for this. You want them going, hey, we're thinking about going this direction in our company, or we have this idea. Could we run that past you? My number one source for business is people say, hey, I want to pick your brain about something. We're thinking about this. Before we take one step, could you talk to me? And I go, yeah, that's a cool idea. We talk about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bring somebody else in on this because they're an expert in this. And doesn't even matter if we get a deal. but eventually it always ends up to some kind of deal because we found a way to help them uniquely and we've given perspective. My number one question I want to ask on a sales call is, do you think you could help me with that? I'm like, you know what? Let's look at that. That's a real good idea. That's a great sales move for you guys listening. And thumbs up, give me a number one in the chat, or a thumbs up if you're liking this so far, and any questions as well. I want to see, we'll make sure we're engaged here. Chrissy, what are you thinking so far?
Yeah, well, I think a mistake that advisors make when they're making these kinds of alliances is that they're solely focusing on, okay, what can I get from this strategic alliance rather than providing mutual value. So you do have to go with that in mind and that it is a mutual
Mhm.
value relationship. So, how would you say that an advisor can ensure that the value they offer is perceived as meaningful by their potential partners?
So you want to know how, like, so if I'm going out and I want to partner with somebody, how do I ensure that they feel that what I'm offering in the market is valuable? Is that what you're asking?
Right, because how does an advisor go in and not convey that they're only trying to get value from this alliance? How do they make sure that they are also providing a mutual value?
Okay, that's a killer question. I like that. I mean, it's basically say, hey, yeah, it kind of feels like, you're trying to like it's one of the things we talk about in sales is like you're trying to get past the gatekeeper. You're trying to like, I'm trying to there's leapfrog over you and access your clients. So we want to make sure that if we're going to do something that we do have value. So part of it is to, I think the easiest way to get value is to give value. So before you start to approach, potential partnership, how are you helping those people in your network? I talked about this with one of my partners the other day because we've got a big project right now, networking and building. We're doing a global expansion out to a lot of different places. We're getting ready to travel. And in order to really strengthen that approach, we got to say, who can we help first? I've been on the phone, oh man, last 3 weeks with people overseas, just helping them solve problems, right? By helping them solve problems, helping them look at stuff, providing resources, sharing ideas, they're much more willing. Like, so when I'm doing this, what do you think? They go, how can I help you? You want people asking to help you because you've been so giving to your network. Also, when you have services, get really clear on how you serve, how you help, have success stories, and then get very specific on what you're asking somebody to help you with. If you just go out and you're just saying, hey, let's talk about partnering on something, it gets really, and people are busy and nobody has the time to really think that through. You have to say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Let's go like this. Maybe have more of the general conversations, but then break it down. Say, I've got something specific I think we should work on. My favorite conversation on a Zoom call with people that, I'm working with is get to the end and we both feel like, you know what, there's got to be something we can work on. That's where I want to get to. It doesn't have to be very dialed, but having the shared values and shared vision, we talk about our customers, we celebrate successes, we position that way, and that's a good way to sort of lean into that. Does that answer your question? I know I kind of rambled. I did a couple different versions.
Yeah, but how would an advisor effectively communicate their value proposition to potential partners who might not immediately see the benefit of the collaboration?
So part of that is to really speak to the customers they're helping, how they're helping, and why adding that next service. So if let's say I'm an attorney and I'm helping my clients in a certain way, I would, if I reached out to say an accountant and I wanted to partner with them, I'd be very clear on saying, hey, here's what we're working on. Here's what we believe. Here's what I'm doing with my clients. And right now, here's the challenge that I'm seeing in my market that I can't address. And I'm looking for a partner that believes in this. I believe in this. Do you believe in that? If we have a shared belief and shared values, then we say, okay, here's what I'm thinking that I'm looking for. Is that something you'd be interested in? But by conveying the values and the beliefs I have with my clients, if they believe in the same thing, they're going to believe that the value that I offer is going to match theirs. And then you go into setting up a meeting and following through with that. And we'll talk about the process on that too. But it's really making sure that you guys have that shared belief before you think about how the value of the services are there.